So here's my promise to you. Everything that you hear come out of my mouth is going to show you how to make money. But most of all, it's not going to show you how to become a millionaire for the money. It's going to show you how to make the money so you can be the change that you want to see in the world. I got your back. Let's do this. Hello, everybody. Obviously, it's Shanda Sumter with Hardcore, and I'm your host. And we are here with Amy van Slambrook, who we are going to hot seat. So here's the cool thing. Amy used her voice. She used her voice in one of the Facebook groups, and you used your voice. And because you used your voice, this is how we ended up here. And so I want to bring this to people's attention, because if I could tell people how often people sit and complain about not getting the results versus actually using their voice, I would be a billionaire at this point, because it happens all the time. People literally will say to me, I need more support, or I need more guidance here. And they don't say anything. And this, like, I can't read minds. And so, I could ask God about words of knowledge, but I can't read minds. And so I or anybody else, and you need input from people to be able to know how to help each other. So Amy used her voice. She is a psychotherapist and helps couples, and her big focus is trying to help couples stay together. Amy, I will tell you personally, there have been more women in the last just 2 weeks inside of our community and inside of my life that have come to me with marital issues. And I was actually just talking to my friend Pete Vargas about exactly this. He was asking me, what are we focused on between now and the end of the year? Here comes my son.
I love it. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, you have to be quiet, okay? Okay.
I love it.
So many women are coming to me, and they're saying things like their husbands have gotten laid off, and their respect level has decreased big time. I would suspect their respect level was probably already waning before this happened. And for the last 4 or 5 months, their husbands have been, unemployed, and they're dissatisfied with them stepping up to the plate. And so, of course, you can imagine the stress that happens there. And I think to myself, it's been 4 or 5 months. If I got laid off or something happened to me. Hey, Michelle. That's what happens. You can ask Michelle. Just walked in right there.
Oh,
right. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
So anyway, so sorry about that. Anyway, so I think to myself, if something happened to me, I would hope that my husband would give me grace for 4 or 5 months while I was trying to figure my. And I think we're going to see more and more of this. So, Amy, I love the work that you're doing, and I'll see you now. And you're going to get to ask me whatever questions you need. I'm just going to go shut my door. Whatever questions, homeschooling.
I love it.
Children. This like reality TV on steroids.
I love it.
So, thank you. So you can ask me any questions, and I suspect your questions are questions that many entrepreneurs have around building their business. And so let's roll. You came up with some ideas about how to grow your business from our List Power program.
Yes.
And where are you sitting at now? You want to create what in the next year?
So in the next year, I really want a clear ascension plan, so that I can take, and I often will start with women independently, but I do women and couples. And I want to be able to take them through the journey, beyond just the intensive work where people are coming to me with divorce papers, or women are coming to me right after trauma, and I'm helping them through that piece. I want to take them through the journey up until even the point where I include some of my corporate experience, because I had a 20-year corporate career, and have kind of a vision of that.
This part's great, but what I need to know, so you're in the content right now. And
Yes.
What I need to know is where are you feeling blocked? So you said to me, you feel like you don't want to coach, you don't want to consult or counsel, and you guys, by the way, when I use the word like coach, it could be, I mean, that could be give advice. It could be like insurance salespeople do this, real estate agents do this, fitness people do, like every industry gives some sort of advice, right? So put what I'm saying over top of your companies as you're listening to this. So you don't want to do as much one-on-one work.
Right. And I want to take it.
You want to scale.
Bigger.
You want to go
Yes.
one to many.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
What's in between you doing that?
Right now, it's honestly, and I'm trying to identify this, so I'd appreciate just your wisdom and feedback, of course, about this, because it's hard to have your feet in both places. I'm managing the weeds of lots of one-on-one sessions to keep my business going and to keep investing in myself and my business. And then I have this bigger vision. So it's how to make those two happen, not the how, because the how always happens. But it is about, what do I structure? It's making that leap. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And it's taken a leap in my mind and in my spirit first to get myself.
So there's always something underneath it that is emotional.
Yes.
Which is why you're having the challenge, right? So let me show you something. So I'm just going to pull you over here, you guys, and I'm going to put my beautiful little whiteboard behind us. And I'm going to grab my calculator so I got it in front of me. So can you guys all see this? You can actually just cash inject. So I'm guessing right now, for the sake of time, that based on what you just said, I'm always looking for the distinctions of your words to tell where to go with a customer or client, right? And so you're saying things like, I'm having to be in one-on-one sessions. I'm having to give my time. And people feel this when they're at a job and they want to be able to grow a business, or they've got children. The time conversation is always the same. So if you've got children and you can't figure out how do I homeschool and run a business and right? Yeah. And you get a house manager. Why can't I get a house manager? Well, then you go cash inject.
Yes.
But see, what happens is when people cash inject, because people have such distorted understanding of income, and they believe that they can't really do it again. And so they don't want to take that cash injection and invest in a house manager like Michelle.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so Michelle manages our house. She also manages my food intake. You saw her walk up and make sure that I have got, greens, fresh cheese, because I don't like things that have been around for 24 hours. Exactly. So no one should sacrifice their belief systems of what they want in their life because they can't afford it. Right. Okay. So you have to know that there is some, for you and everybody else, right? There is always some level of understanding the relationship with money. And I'm at my next level, right? And so I'm at the next level. We're all at our next levels. And so it's all relative to where we're at. So when we look at like a cash injection, what do you need either in the bank, or what do you need to give yourself the space to stop doing these one-on-ones or to cut them in half?
Guess the first thing that comes to mind is probably like 3 months, and at my current level, obviously I don't want to stay there, but at least that would be kind of that exhale. So what would that be for you? So that would be between 30 and 35,000.
It's so funny how God works. I heard 30,000. Okay. So 30,000. So this is what we call a priority focus in HeartCore. In fact, what we just did is we created calendars that, by the way, are coming out soon. We created calendars where, depending on what level of leadership you're at. So leadership level number 1 is like if I told you to go do a webinar and you weren't very good at a webinar, if it took everything out of you, like you're like, oh, like that took a lot. And then it didn't come together. And then you felt like, oh my God, like that doesn't work. And then it takes you forever to get back up to the plate. That would be level 1 leadership. Level 2 leadership would be, Shanda, if you and you guys can ask yourself, you level 1, 2, or 3, and just go in the comments. Level 2 leadership would be, someone who's like, Shanda, give me the plan and I'll work it, but I still very much fight with my time. That's where you're at, Amy. Yeah. right? So you'll take the coaching. If I put the coaching in front of you, you'll take it, but the fear creates a lot of pressure on you. And what you battle with is a time conversation versus a priority focus, which is you could cash inject 30K. You have to now still be emotional for you to call those people and say, this is our last month.
Yes.
And because you'll have a fear that this was a fluke.
Yes.
And that's what happens. Level 3 leadership knows that we all have imposter syndrome. I sat at a table last year with my friend Pete Vargas and just a ton of people. And Lori was with us. She's a really close friend of mine and also is in charge, director of special events in Hardcore. And she said, she was almost in tears. She said, almost everybody around the table had said something of a moment that I helped them. And I say this like it feels weird to even say that, but I'm just saying like this is what happened. And I was just super thankful. And when it came to my turn to talk, I said, I'm afraid to go on that next level stage. And everybody looked at me like, what? You're afraid? I'm like, yeah, because that's like, am I good enough? Am I, you know what I mean? Do I love people enough? That's always my fear. Do I actually love people enough? You know, and people may or may not understand that, but like, it's just a thing with me. Okay. Can I love you enough to just really move you at that level? And so imposter syndrome with all of us, but depending on level 1 leadership, level 2, or level 3, you'll interact with that a little differently. This is why I say everything is leadership. So if we this is called a priority focus. And there, depending on what leadership level you are, determines on how you should run your calendar. Okay. And so at your leadership level 2, where you're contending with time, see, time's not an issue for me. It's not an issue. Like if you can fit into my calendar and it's there, we'll do it. I get offers all the time that are amazing. That becomes a big problem as you become more seen, is you get more opportunities. That's when people jump for the Oprah opportunity. I'm like, usually they don't work out. And so opportunities are a dime a dozen. And that's at level 3 leadership. But time is not an issue. That's why I can run for a long period of time and not burn out. Also, balance is not an issue because I'm not trying to get it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I've already got it scheduled. And so it's already scheduled in my calendar. And so I'm never having to think about balance because it's not even on my bandwidth. So it doesn't take guilt, or like if I'm not spending time with my son for a week at the level that I normally would, I don't have a guilt factor because I know it's already scheduled in. Do you know, like
autopilot? Yeah.
Right. So that's that 3rd level. So you're contending with time still. So your priority focus needs to be to hit that 30K in a cash injection.
Yes.
Then the follow through is what really matters, because will you call those people? And if you can't do it, Amy, you got to have a virtual assistant. Call them and say that Amy loves you and the company's growing.
Yes.
And so she's pivoting inside the company and she's changing her role. And so her role is she's no longer going to be doing these one-on-one sessions. This is leadership.
Yes.
She's not going to be doing these one-on-one sessions. And so what she is going to move to this sport format. If you would like to apply for that, here's a link to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that they can keep working with you.
And I try to think of that, Shanda. I so appreciate that, because I try, as hard as I know that will be, I also try to say, is it where I want to guide them? And do I want to model that for them to be able to do in their own life when they grow into a different level?
You don't. So my client base wants a lifestyle like me, like you know what I mean. So I don't really think about like them in that aspect. I do what I need to do to grow the company to the next level, and as they grow, they either agree with it or they don't. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's tribe together is through that type of honesty. So you guys know on our calendars we have flex time. So I take off 1 week a month in flex time. So last week of this month I will be off, and I'll be off for the whole month, a whole week of Halloween, which is awesome because I get to do all the fun Halloween stuff with my son. But I'm off for the whole week. And so I can make up a lot of time with my family in that week because I've got nothing to do. I'm not on my phone. I'm not like, I really am not on anything. Everything's already scheduled out. I pre-do my videos for Instagram and Facebook, and I drop them in a shared folder on my iPhone that I have, another assistant that picks it up. I've already got all the posts written. Like I did one this morning, and they'll probably put it up tomorrow, or it might go up today. You'll see if it goes up today. But okay, let's get back to your plan. Okay. So there's always a way to get everything done. That's level 3 leadership. There's always a way to get everything done. But when you're contending with there's not enough time, you need to run a calendar like our level 2 leadership, which we're going to put these calendars out. They've just been created, and they're coming out. So keep your eye open for November, because they're coming out. Okay. And so priority focus is something that this would be a priority focus for you, because this is a game changer. If you put 30K in the bank, so how do we put like 30,000 in the bank? Okay. So what are you usually selling at?
I'm sorry?
What are you used to selling at? What price points? The reason I'm asking you guys is I'm looking for where her comfort zone is, because there's no point in me putting up some random numbers that she'll never go after.
Right. And so this year I've sold like a group coaching program that was, say, about $400 a month, which is not where I want to be, but it is honestly where I am.
Everybody take this coaching. You start with where you're at, and we all do our best to get better.
Yes. And
so there's no point in me saying, unless I'm working with Amy closer, right? In our PACE program or something like that, where you're working, in a pod coach, or you know what I'm saying, then I have more access, because I meet with our coaches all the time. And we also have 2 coaching senior managers on our coaches. There's a lot of support. But my point is if you're not in that program, then for me to put a plan up here, like, here's my plan. This would be my plan if you were, like, let's say in PACE. I would say to hit that 30K, let's do that right away. 5,000 times 6 people.
Okay.
Let's do that in 1 month. Okay. You can enroll 6 people in 1 month. The plan, if you not, and you could go after this plan, right? But the plan that I think would be easier for you, because you're not getting directly coached. You know what I mean? You're in our list power program, but there's not a direct coach, right? That's responsible for you.
Right.
And so, but you are building a list. And so this is great, because you have an asset to go find these people. You're not just sitting there going, where do I find people? Like,
no, I'm loving the summit. It's so much fun. Yes.
You're responsible to actually create that now. So if you did a number that's really easy to sell is 2,700. Right? 30 people is 81,000. 2,700 times 11. That puts you basically at 29,700. So pretty close. Okay. So I'm just going to put it as 30K, because it's really close. It's like it's really close.
Yes.
And so that will probably take you 2 months. This will take you 1 month. And so, whatever. It takes you always pay for speed. That's what coaching does.
Right.
You're paying for speed. Does everybody get that result? No, because not everybody takes all the coaching. But if you took the coaching, you followed the coaching, here you would be role playing with your coach. So that every time you did a call and they didn't enroll, you would go role play that with your coach, the objection. Okay. And so it's like talking to more people and getting better at the enrollment process. The quicker you're able to get better at the enrollment process, that's very doable, 6 people in 1 month, which means that you could be 30 days away. You could be 30 days away from moving to your group format. So that's called a priority focus. Now you got to go back to your calendar and say, does my calendar reflect me being able to do this? So this is where balance is the wrong thing. Because if Amy actually worked the weekends to talk to people, and whatever her code ratio is, or however good she is at lead genning people for this result, because this is a VIP day with someone. So let's say 4 hours virtually on Zoom, 4 hours with a couple, 4 hours with a woman, any of that. You got to hook with what it is that they want, which I think you already know.
Yes.
Right? You hook with what they want and you promise to deliver on that VIP day. We definitely know that intensives, when you work in a workshop or in a day or in some hours together, you get a better result.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? And so this is great. You could do half the day with the woman and half the day with the couple.
Yeah.
And there's so much good work that you can do here. You could add, if you wanted, to this 4-hour VIP day, right? You could add 30 days of support. If they make a decision by 5 p.m. tonight, where they put a deposit down. You can do this as pay in full, or you can do a 3 pay. They don't do the VIP day until you're paid off on the 3 pay. Okay? 3
Yes.
pay is going to make it a little bit more expensive because you are financing it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you're paying the bank, and most of us are not set up to want to be the bank. Okay? So just a little bit more. And so now you're in a situation where you've got this game coming, right? You got your freedom there. Now it's going to be up to you. Do you have the leadership to hold yourself accountable to stop the one-on-ones? Now you take that group program that you're wanting to do with couples, and you could literally break this up for 1 year, and maybe like 1 week a month. Say it's like 3 calls. So I always do the last week. You guys are willing to steal this. The last week of every month is flex week, which means there's no work. And it's actually really good on people's lives because they're not continuing to stack more on top of their schedules, because most people have a time problem. Okay. And it's because they waste their time watching Netflix, screening the TV, screening Instagram, burning through hours in the day. Okay. And so they're not rigorous with their time. Okay. And if you don't believe me, track your time. Track where you spend your time. Look at your cell phone and put the tracker on how much you're actually on social media and how much of that's actually selling. How much of that are you actually making offers and risking and putting yourself out there to actually work? Most of the time, it's not a lot. Most of the time, 95, even 100% of your time on social media is voyeuring on other people's lives. It's not studying like we're doing right now, and it's not making offers. And you have to ask yourself, what are you doing with your valuable life force? So you can do a 1-year program, 3 calls a month. And with these 3 calls a month, you can have 1 goes to the woman, 1 goes to the man, 1 goes to the couple, which is a great format because now you're working individually, right?
I do that now. So
you don't have a man that just don't have a call that week. Okay. So now that being said, you're used to doing $400 a month. I would jump you again. If you're working with me directly or in PACE, I would recommend $700 a month. I don't like anything under $700 a month.
Right. And I should have specified.
Well, here's why. Customer service goes up, which means you develop more leadership to lead people inside the company, which is like a marriage times 10 in the relationship, because you're not sleeping together. You know what I mean? Like, so there's not as much vested in the relationship. There's just not. So your leadership has to be so different when you bring on more team. And so I like $700 a month.
And so individually, that's what I'm at now, Shanda. So the group was at 400, but individually, that's what people pay.
I'm going right now. So either do 700, or since again, just because of you're coaching at one level inside of Hardcore, if you were to go up to PACE, you go for this. But if you find a roadblock and you can't convert there, then literally drop this down to like $597. Okay. And you'll convert really well at that price point. $597 times, let's say, put 20 people in a program off your list build and list power. Okay. That puts you at $1,040 a month. What that is over the course of a year is $143,000. Okay. It should take you 3 months to sell this. We recommend 3-month sales cycles until you get a good team. When you get a good team, do evergreen. Everybody wants to do evergreen, which if you don't know what that means, you guys, is this working for you? Go in the chat and just let us know if this is helping. Okay. So evergreen is when you sell all year round and the program doesn't have a start or an end. That is much more challenging. It's more challenging to sell because there's harder to get urgency. And it's also really hard on your life because I don't want you in a sales cycle forever. I want you to build a sales team when you go evergreen. So if you want to build strong, do 2 of these waves, which means 2 waves of 20. Sell for 2 months, start the program on the 3rd month, and still sell the first month that it's open because anybody can catch up on 3 calls. Okay. Then give yourself 2 or 3 months and then sell again. So basically you're selling 6 months out of the year.
Okay.
So if you do this 143, if you do this 143, right, times 2, you end up on the year 286,000. Once you do it once, we're only talking about 20 people. You're in list power, so you're growing your list. We're only talking about 20 people. Hits the 143. Take a 2 or 3 month break where you're just fulfilling, and then go into a sales cycle again.
Okay.
I recommend you have some flex time in there, winter time, skiing, whatever, right? Go have some fun. Christmas. Yes. And then now you're at 286,000, right? You're not doing any of that, which, by the way, for the record, I have no issue with one-on-one. But at least it puts you in a position now. You've got 286,000. I would recommend, not kidding you guys, I would seriously recommend that you try and put 20, 25, 30% of that into a bank.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that, you guys, is because there's going to be some huge opportunities. There's going to, let's say, if we go 20%, that means you basically got about 60 grand. You can have 60,000 in the bank by the end of the year. I'd rather see that at 100, but you got 60,000 at the end of the year. There's going to be taxes paid out of that 60,000, so it's really not going to be 60,000. But at least at that point, if you take 20%, you put away. If you can move up to 30 or 40%, do that.
Yeah.
And change your lifestyle.
Yes.
Change your lifestyle. Downgrade your lifestyle if you need to, or put more people in the program. But everybody needs to get money in the bank right now. You just do. And you need to be able to do it because you want to be able to invest that money in the opportunities that are coming in the next 12 to 24 months. Okay. Yes. So now if you did $100 a month and you did 20, that means you'd be doing 14,000. So this would be if you were, right? And you could still do it. It's just, I know that it's great for me to put this up here, but what are the roadblocks you're going to hit that you're going to need coaching, right? So that's why I like to be real. I don't want to waste time. So $700 a month puts you at a point where it's 14,000 a month, which is a big difference, right? Big difference from 11,000. Basically, $2,000 more a month, right? Now you got 14,000 a month. Right, times 12, that's 168,000. Times 2 waves, right? 2 waves in a year.
Yes.
That's 336,000 if you just invested in coaching. And by the way, that I don't care if she coaches with me or she coaches with anybody else. That's the point. The point to think like this, because you got to be in relationship with money. If I take the 336, everybody's trying to save money because they don't have it. That's why you don't effing have it. That's why you don't have it, because the way you think about it, you're scared of it, right? So 336, if we take that 20%, that adds another $7,200 to your savings. That's a lot.
Yes.
In the year, 20%. So what are you hearing me say? Because I got to jump to a VIP day. I'm going to jump to a VIP day. VIP day that I just shared with you. I'm going to jump to my VIP day, which I have 3 a week. And just so you know, I charge $35,000. Okay. So I do what it is that I teach.
Yes. And
Okay,
I love that. I love that about you. So I'm really hearing a lot of this is about my own leadership and really being honest, brutally honest with myself about that along as I'm going, not to try to work it out all ahead of time, but as I'm going through the process. And I'm really hearing it's looking at this, focusing, laser focused on where I'm headed and pushing myself through this process because it will be emotional and I have to be really honest with myself and being more selective. If I do want to work one-on-one, then it's a matter of being selective about that and having this as the big
prices, because now that you're making, this is the money you can, let's be clear, you can make this in 1 year.
Yes,
right?
and that's incredible to me.
That's right here, right now, based on the leadership level I know about you. This is very achievable.
Yes.
If you get coaching, it goes up significantly. You're going from 286,000, which is in your leadership right now, to 336,000. What's the cost of coaching? 15K?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like for over 100,000 and 20,000 more. You know what I mean? You got to think like that, right? And so now you're in a position where you're like, either or. I'm happy with either or. I just want more money in the bank. That's why I'm more aggressive on the higher price point, because I want more money in the bank so that you can go to an advisor or real estate investment group or something and take your money and leverage it up. Right? Buy something. Don't even buy your own house. You can, but like buy an asset that pays you every single month. That pays for itself, right? And build real wealth. But
absolutely.
I look at this and I'm like sitting there going, like, not only can you do this for sure with your leadership without doing more than list power.
Right. But I'm doing HCL and I'm really excited about that.
Super powerful. So you're setting yourself up to really rock it. So I want to hold you accountable to this. I want you to give this to your coaches in HCL as well on the practice level. I want you to sell out your 20.
Thank you.
Okay? Practice level, you sell it. So prepare yourself to sell out the 20 in the practice level of HCL.
I will.
And that would be powerful to a lot of coaches.
It would. That would be so powerful.
Go for the 700 in that. And then, take some of that money, come back, go into PACE, marketing master. But you probably could go straight to marketing master with that income. Yeah. That's great. And by the way, over 300,000 a year. You're actually, if you look at the 10 million mark or even the 5 million mark, you could take 300,000 a year. If you put 30% away, divide that 30% away from 300,000, or for her case, 336,000. If she took 30% and she actually multiplied it by how many years, it would put 5 million in the bank. She has a vision now.
Yeah.
And now she knows why she's working, and that money is important for your future.
Yes.
Because like I just was listening to somebody share this today, and I shared it with my husband, and they were doing the math on a millionaire, and 7 figures in the bank. If you have a car accident or somebody gets sick, you can't even take care of yourself.
It's gone.
7 figures in the bank. And when I hear entrepreneurs are like, I'm tired, I'm like, you're just a level 2 leadership. You're just battling time.
Yeah.
Time yet. And that's just once you break that, it's gone. Then you'll be shocked. I remember doing like a sellout of 20 people in a program and feeling exhausted at the end. Because it was like, took everything out of me. Oh my God, I talked to 500 people. Yeah, because my sales sucked. But like, look at where I'm standing today. I would put in those hours all over again to stand in the freedom of the knowledge I have today that no one can take from me. And if I can't do it, I can train somebody to do it for me. Do you get what that's freedom to me.
That's incredible.
Money freedom comes, and that's not just how much money you're making a month. It's where do you put that money so it's actually making money so that you spend it. So here's last thing I'll give you all. The worst thing you can do is have a savings account. I hate to say that. It's the worst thing because everybody has a level that they feel comfortable at. As soon as you feel comfortable, you stop having the hunger. You stop having the hunger. And so you got to take that money and you got to get rid of it. You need to put it into work. You need to make the money work for you, which means it can't be sitting there. So you slosh up the account until you find, with the intention of what you want to find, which should be something that creates passive income. I'm going to be starting to call some of my friends to see if they can come speak about real estate, because I think you should be getting educated around that. I think you should be getting educated, because some of us will have the risk as entrepreneurs, because we're risky, to go and buy a house. As like, we didn't stop and get, especially my controllers and promoters, we didn't stop and get the education that we needed to be able to invest in the right real estate that would have actually taken care of our retirement, if you ever wanted to retire, or if there's ever a car accident, or if there's ever like a life-threatening disease, or your parents are, or whatever that looks like. Most of us are not set up to win. And we've been educated by people that say, you should have a year's worth of rent. Well, what the F happens after that? You're out of money? Like, that doesn't work. You need something that doesn't have you worry about money anymore.
Yes.
So that you can be free with it. Okay. Yeah. So, Amy, was this helpful?
This was such an incredible gift, Shanda. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to be watching like all the replays about 17 times and taking notes, because that's just how I do it. And it's so awesome. So thank you. I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. I have to jump to a VIP day, but this plan right here, this is a accounting firm that we just put together $1 million a quarter plan for. And she's going to do $1 million a quarter. And so, and that's an accounting firm.
I love that.
My point is, and it was like right there. And what I discovered was she had too much money in the bank. Mm. And that's within her leadership skill already, not even needing an HCL program. She is already capable of that. If we take her in HCL, she'll do so much more. You get what I'm saying? So,
yes.
Which, is powerful. So it's crazy how easy money really is and how easy it is to make. But we are the hard ones.
Yes.
So we are the hard ones. How stubborn are we about what money can't do? Like, as if you can't do it means that it's like you can't do it. No, you grab onto who is doing it. And how am I like that person? When I met Sarah Blakely, all I did was realize how much we are alike. I just was like, I love her heart. There's so many other personal things that are exactly the same. And, the thing that gets underestimated with us females, Amy, is that people don't think we can do it. And that's a superpower for you.
Yeah.
They underestimate you. Okay.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you, Shanda. Thank you.
Bless you. Everybody, we want to hear. What did you get out of this? What's going to shift in your business because of this, so that we can hear landing for you? And what are you still struggling with? So first, tell me what worked. Like, what worked about me hot seating Amy? What worked for you? And then in the same comment thread, tell me what you still need help with. And then I'll come back at the end of today and I'll look at it. But please just take a moment and do that. I can't stand it when people watch these things and they don't engage, because I'm sitting there going, do you want help? Like, I need to see you. I saw Amy. She commented on a thread like this. And when I saw what she still needed help with, I was able to say, Kelly, my executive assistant, is a rock star. Grab Amy, find her. Let's get on live and let's hot seat her so I can help everybody when I hot seat her too. All right. What worked? I opened up for you what worked and what do you still need help with? Just go ahead and comment that now. Bless you. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You're so